What would Thanksgiving be without all the trimmings? Thanksgiving sides today on Let's Cook. Hi, welcome to Thanksgiving sides today on Let's. I'm trying to fix my apron. I really can't cook without an apron on. And this is kind of festive. I have, for Thanksgiving, I have my blue shirt, very American. Red strings, white apron. Let me just get this on so we can start on our sides for our Thanksgiving dinner. We're doing bourbon glazed root vegetables. Then we're doing oven roasted asparagus Provencal. And then, of course, I can't do Thanksgiving without making my dad's mashed potatoes with scallions. So that's our menu for today. Now, to make the bourbon glazed root vegetables, we're actually roasting the vegetables. And actually, that's a great way to make vegetables, especially root vegetables, because you retain a lot of the water-soluble vitamins. So to make this, I'm going to take all my root vegetables, or just put them in the bowl here. I have rutabagas, I have squash, parsnips, turnips, celery. I have some nice pearl onions here. We have carrots. We're just going to put these all together in here, and then I'm going to season these with just a little bit of salt here, some pepper, just a little bit of pepper there. Get some more pepper out. Then we'll take a little bit of melted butter just on top of these right here. Leave a little bit because I need that to make the glaze. Then I have some herbs here, that I'm going to put in as well, and a splash of bourbon, just a splash of bourbon on top. All we do is we toss these together, set them up on a sheet pan. Now I'm going to roast these in the oven at 425 to 475 degrees, but we just spread these out nice and evenly. Not too close together. They will shrink up a little bit. And all we have to do is cook these till they're fork tender. So they only really take about 20 minutes. And the way I've designed this menu is so that everything's going to come out together. And at the end of the show, I'm actually going to show you how to carve a turkey as well. Little interesting fact there about cooking vegetables. The best way, or the way they cooked them in the 17th century, was to roast them. And the Pilgrims actually used to assign someone to sit for hours, and when they were roasting, the protein, they would turn the spit to make sure that it roasted evenly. Fortunately, we have really nice ovens. We don't have to do that. So what I'm going to do is get these started roasting. We're going to take a little break, and then when we come back, I'm going to get some oven-roasted asparagus in the oven as well for our Thanksgiving sides. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Let's Cook, where we are doing Thanksgiving sides today, and it's definitely time to, for lack of a better word, gobble them up. Now, what's really interesting? The Pilgrims used to use a lot of spices like cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, and pepper, and actually that started in Philadelphia and Boston when the ships used to come in, and the English, they were great on the trade routes. So a lot of those spices, and also from the Caribbean, they all used to come in. So a lot of what we use in our traditional Thanksgiving Day meals, or annual Thanksgiving Day meals, actually started way back in the 16 and 1700s. Asparagus Provencal. Provencal usually means with olive oil and garlic and tomatoes. So the first thing that I need to show you is I have some asparagus here. Now, when I buy asparagus, I look for a couple of things. First of all, I look at the heads of the asparagus, and I want to make sure that they're really tight, really closed up nice and tight. Then I want to take a piece of the asparagus, pick it this way in the supermarket, and see how it breaks, because it should break. And wherever it breaks, that's what I really need to use. You can also peel them too, but we're talking home cooking here. The other thing that I do is I'll take the ends of the asparagus when I first buy them, I cut them off, and I put them in a beaker with water and hold them in a refrigerator that way, just same way you would with cut flowers. That kind of keeps them alive. Don't cover them up in plastic. They don't like that. So I'll just take these asparagus right here and just see wherever they break, that's what I'm going to be using. So See how easy that is? Wherever they snap, that's where they should break. So I'll put these right in a dish here, and then to make them, it's so simple. Now, also the other interesting thing about asparagus, so while I'm talking, I'm feeling very silly. You know, I get excited about around the holidays. The other thing that's really you should know about asparagus is the smaller the asparagus, usually the older the plant, and the jumbo asparagus, if you can get them, those are the really prized ones. Those are the ones that have the terrific flavor. So I have my asparagus right here. Good. Now, with this asparagus now, all I'm going to do with this is take this. Don't peel. I'm not going to peel it. A little bit of olive oil here. Along with that olive oil that's here, I'm going to put a little bit in this pan here, too. So then I just take these, a little bit of salt on these, a little bit more salt, a lot of asparagus in here, a little bit of pepper. Then I simply toss these up so that they get a little coating there of the olive oil. Beautiful. Then we take these, and I'm going to put them on this sheet pan right here, laying them nice and flat. I have a sill pad on this cutting board. Now, a sill pad, it's made with silicone, and the great thing about that is that then I'll be able to pick them up and transfer them onto my serving dish without having to pick them up individually. And also, the silicone pad cleans up, or the sill pad cleans up much better and much easier than does the pan itself. So these I'm going to pop in the oven along with my root vegetables that are being cooked there. Then I'm going to come over here. I'm going to heat my olive oil in this pan here. This is the second part of this. I'm going to then add my slivered garlic to that, a little bit of stock. I'm going to let that start to cook down. When that cooks down a little bit, then I'll add my tomatoes to it. I'll just keep it warm, so when the asparagus comes out of the oven, I can go ahead and add the garlic with the tomatoes and everything to it. We need to take a little break, but when we come back, my father made the best mashed potatoes with scallions that was on every holiday table. So don't go anywhere. It's Thanksgiving sides today on Let's Cook. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Let's Cook, where we are doing Thanksgiving sides. Now, the next item we're making is my father's mashed potatoes. We never had a ricer when I was a kid, so I could easily rice the potatoes, and any of you people who are fanatics about cooking like to rice your potatoes, so feel free to use a ricer. However, we have masher 1, masher 2, or masher 3. Any one of these will do the tricks, and this is what I grew up making mashed potatoes with. So, first thing I'm going to do is I just take my potatoes right over here, and I'm going to drain them off, making sure that they are cooked through, but not overdone. So then, I'll take my mashed potatoes, bring them right over here. I'm going to use this bigger pot because I make a mess when I do this. I then take these potatoes well drained, right in the pot. In addition to that, I'm going to take just a little bit of butter here. About a half a pound of butter. Just going to take the butter and drop this in the potatoes. Not mashing my potatoes yet. I'm just getting this butter a little soft because it came right out of the refrigerator. So a little hard. So let me drop the butter in there. That's good. Leave these alone for a second because in the oven now, I have a few scallions that I'm going to take out because my scallions are already done. So let's come over here, take a look at our scallions. Oh, these look unbelievable. So look how nice these scallions look, don't they? I mean these asparagus. I'm calling them scallions. I have scallions on my brain because of my father's mashed potatoes. See how nice my scallions look here? Did I just call them scallions again? See how nice my asparagus looks? Right here. Now, remember when I said I used a sill pad so I could pick them up? I do. So you need to be careful with this because it is just a little hot here. So I'll just take this right here, pick this up, slide this over here. These are where sill pads do come in handy. It is a little warm, so you need to do this relatively quickly, I'm just going to pick up the silk pad, drop this right into my serving dish. Got the asparagus spears right down here. Great green color there. By the way, my hands are a little used to the heat, so I can pick that up. You don't want to burn yourself at home. Then all we do is we take our olive oil with our garlic right here that we heated up. We add our tomatoes to this. Season this with a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and stir this around. Now, the way we're trying to do the show is if we're actually getting Thanksgiving dinner on the table, so then I'm just going to take my tomatoes right here down the middle of the asparagus, and these are good to go. So we have that done. Now, we all still have our roasted vegetables there, too, that we're going to be doing. So we have these done. Now, next, for my roasted vegetables here, all I'm going to do right now is take this pan, start to heat this pan up as well. And to this pan, I still need just a little bit of butter, too. So let me just get a little bit of butter here because we're making our bourbon glaze for this. So now I'm going to come over here into this pan, put my butter, and by the way, I'm using sweet butter, not salted butter. Take this, drop this into the pan. Along with that, I'm going to drop my sugar, a little bit of bourbon. We're going to let that start to cook down. So, do we have our bourbon going there? Well, that's going. Coming over here, I have my root vegetables. Now, these look absolutely fabulous. And you can see right here, see how nice these look? Don't these look great? So these are all really nicely cooked. So now I'm going to take these, put these right into my serving dish. See the great color? Nice and tender. All those vitamins are still intact in them. Out of this world. Get the rest of these on there. Beautiful. And the great thing about this, you already had the oven on all day. Your turkey's done. You have to take that out to rest while you make your gravy. So you might as well use the oven to make the rest of your vegetables. Keep the space clean. So I'm just going to keep these warm because then as soon as the glaze is ready, I can go ahead and pour it over my vegetables, just toss them around. That's almost ready. Now, remember we put the cold butter in? It's kind of called like choose your weapon, you know? So, I'm gonna put this over here. Now all I do is I take and I start to mash my potatoes. They're still hot. The butter is melting. I'm getting happy. Don't need the ricer. Now, if you don't want lumps in your potatoes, don't do it this way. But if you want a little bit of texture in there, it works. Go this way now. And you just mash them. When they're still hot, add a little bit of your milk before they cool down. Add your scallions in there. Season it with, your salt, your pepper. This glaze is almost ready here, too. For the vegetables here, you just need to make sure you cook off all of that bourbon. We add our salt to this. We add our pepper to this. As much pepper as you like. I like a lot of pepper. Don't be afraid to salt it. Also, when you cook your potatoes, make sure you cook them in salted water. Okay, so I'm going to turn this glaze down a little bit. Finish my father's mashed potatoes. Don't be afraid of the butter. It's Thanksgiving. It's a holidays. Oh, out of this world. Again, see how nice? And this way, what ends up happening when you do them this way, you don't bring too much starch out of the potato, and then so they don't get all gluey and sticky. Thanks, Dad. Out of this world. So, these are now good to go. But however, when I plate these now, I have this right here. Come over here. Set this up like this. Pile them high. Nice, creamy, rich. I used I like Maine potatoes, but Yukon Gold work really well too, especially this time of year. Not too sticky, not gummy. Did them by hand, they're definitely going to taste better. There we are. Just have to do one other thing with these mashed potatoes here. Now that we've got them all. And it doesn't call for olive oil. What it does call for is a little bit more butter. Take our butter in the middle. A little bit more scallion just on top there. Out of this world. Now, the only other thing we have to do is take our root vegetables right here, add this glaze to them right here. Oh, out of this world. This looks so good. See how nice that looks? That glaze on those. It's going to give them a shine. Just give them a nice gentle toss here. By the way, if you don't want to use the bourbon, you could easily just take a little bit of lemon juice and substitute lemon juice in that glaze for the bourbon. Let it cook off. It's going to give them a terrific flavor. Okay, my sides are done. My desserts are done. My turkey is ready to be carved. Let's take a little break because then when we come back, I'm going to show you how to carve a turkey. Don't go anywhere. It's Thanksgiving sides today on Let's Cook. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Let's Cook, where we did our terrific sides. Now we need to carve the turkey. So I roasted a turkey here because Judy, who she sets up all the graphics and everything in the control room, she said, you know, Paul, I don't know how to carve a turkey. I said, it's real easy. So you have your cooked turkey, you let it rest. I did not make a stuffing in this turkey. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to go right here by where the leg is right there. I'm going to pick this up here, cut down this way. Then I'm going to bring it into the joint here, picking this up as I go, and I'm going to remove the leg right here. Now, if you want to be really nice, you can also take the leg and just carve the leg this way. You just need a real nice sharp knife. This way, everybody who likes dark meat, they can go ahead and get some. So you can carve the leg that way. So let me just put that leg there with these two carved pieces right there. Now, the next thing we have to do is we have to cut the breast. To cut the breast, where the thigh ends right here and the leg is here, put your knife right in there and cut right here, right straight through to the where the wishbone is. Then, this is a very important thing now. When you're using your fork, do not stick the fork into the bird. Hold the bird this way with your fork. You come down with your knife, have a nice sharp slicing knife here, and kind of let the knife do the work. See how this just comes off here? Don't worry if it falls away there. I'm going to bring this over here. Another piece right down here. See how easy that is? Carves really nice. See how nice and moist? Also, that's the other thing with your turkey. You want to make sure that you cook it to a minimum of 165 degrees internal temperature. If you stuff the turkey, that's okay too. Now, the other thing is, I'm just going to turn this around right over here, okay, because right down in here you can also take off, you know, my mother-in-law, she used to love the wings right here. These are right underneath. Take those out afterwards. The other thing that you can do is, and I'm going to actually pick this bird up here and put it on a cutting board just for a second here. So I can show you right here on the thigh right here where you can go ahead and you start to work your way down the thigh right here. I always cut this, I always cut my Thanksgiving turkey on a cutting board. Usually it has a trough so that any of those juices that come out, I can go ahead and remove them too. Oh, so we have a little bit of dark meat there, a little bit of white meat. Let me just get another few slices here of turkey on this, and then I'm going to finish this with some beautiful gravy that we made. You know, Thanksgiving is such a great holiday because it's the one time a year it's very legitimate for us to enjoy our sides. So today on Let's Cook, for our sides we did bourbon glazed root vegetables, oven roasted asparagus Provencal, and scallion mashed potatoes, or I just call them Dad's mashed potatoes. Have a terrific Thanksgiving, and just enjoy it with your family, friends, and loved ones. Thanks for watching today, and we will see you next time. And remember, it's all fun